Internet of, Internet of Things has emerged as a game changer in the agricultural sector, empowering farmers with data-driven insights and transforming traditional farming practices into smart, efficient, and sustainable operations. We have two esteemed speakers joining us today, who are like Dr. Sudhanshu Joshi and Mr. Ravi Vibhuti, sir. So, introducing our first speaker, Dr. Sudhanshu Joshi, a PhD holder in supply chain management, is an accomplished professional in the field. He holds certifications as a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt and a certified discipline Agile Scrum Master. He specializes in operations and supply chain management and associated with the School of Management at Doon University, India. Dr. Joshi serves as the coordinator of PM Gati Shakti Center of Excellence in Logistics and Supply Chain Management and oversees the Operations and Supply Chain Management Research Lab at Doon University. He is also a visiting professor at the Australian Artificial Intelligence Institute, University of Technology, Sydney. With an H index of 18, he has published over 60 articles with 1,100 plus citations in high impact factor journals. His research interests include artificial intelligence, sustainability, circular economy, and digital supply chain management, among others. Dr. Joshi has worked on various research projects and consultancies for funding agencies and is a member of prestigious societies such as CSI, IEEE, POMS, and Informs. He also serves as a series editor for the Research Notes series on operations and supply chain management by CRC Press and Taylor Production. I'd like to hand over the session to sir. Over to you, sir.
Many thanks to you, and thanks for the invitation to the organizers. Am I audible clearly?
You're audible, sir.
Right. Thank you, Anupamji. Thank you very much. Thank you, Amitji, and all the listeners today. Thanks for coming and joining us. So, with the due permission, I am starting the PPT. Shall I share it? Please give me the rights to share the presentation, please.
Yeah, just a second.
Is it visible now?
It's
Yes,
loading.
sir. Yeah, good to go now, sir.
Good to go. Right. All right. So myself, Sudhanshu Joshi, as introduced by the host, and I belong to Doon University. It is located in Dehradun as a agri-driven state. It's an Himalayan state. So we oftenly come across many of clients. Those are struggling with their agriculture, fertility and productivity issues. So while we are doing many projects with Government of Uttarakhand, the Agriculture Department, we come across the importance of artificial intelligence and IoT. And my research is also having one focal area, which is agriculture supply chain. Unfortunately, two students has done PhD with me on this particular domain. So I will share some stories with you and some real-time use cases as well. So I believe PPT is yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's a brief introduction about myself. I did my PhD in supply chain, MBA in business finance, MC and BSc computer science. I'm a series editor with research note series Taylor and Francis. Guest editor with 3 journals and reviewer with around 55 journals. I got a research grant, which is more than 1.8 crore rupees. 11 research projects I have done and 2 consultancy projects I have done. I got the Best Academic Research 2009 Researcher Award from University of Petroleum, my previous employer, and Best Young Researcher Award in 2019. 3 of the PhDs are already awarded. One is undergoing and one is recently enrolled. This is my existing citation in Google Scholar and Scopus. So let us take first thing first, artificial intelligence. So as we know that artificial intelligence is a powerful technique which is ever invented by the human. And AI is already begin to transform every industry in every function domain. And presently, as well as right now, we are seeing that many of applications which we are using, which are integrated from coming through Industry 4.0 technologies or maybe directly from the artificial intelligence. And during the course of this presentation, we will try to have more discussion about how AI is transforming the agriculture startups, particularly, beside to other industries as well. And the list is not limited to financials or agriculture activities. It is also hitting upon the retail industry. It is also hitting upon the fintechs and whatnot, actually. So AI and IoT being the technology which are underpinning into the same set of domains, they are actually making competitive advantage to the firms. So learning artificial intelligence and IoT become a kind of necessary requirement these days whenever it comes to the skill set development. So how technology, the question is how technology is transforming agriculture. This is the something we need to understand first. So considering the time limitation, I will try to cover main areas very in a faster pace. So we know that manual farming was the first era, and we better call it agriculture 1. Agriculture era 1.0, where manual farming is taken care by the people, and agriculture being the oldest industry in the age of human, which is basically not more than 2000 years back, which is coming together as one of the obviously a reason to live in the without can't eat, and without eating you can't live. So interestingly, 1.0 is primarily is the era of manual farming, and which was primarily assisted by cow and the horse. Those are doing the plugging and harvesting activity, and also for the post-harvesting activity, the pet animals are being used, especially the cow and the horse. And primarily, this was entirely done manually. So the biggest benefit was actually with the manual farming was taking care of all farming activity by the farmers themselves, and this was something was a core area. But there's a limitation also. Now, interestingly, second when it comes to the second 2.0, we better call it agriculture era 2.0, and agriculture era 2.0 is more about the industrialization which was happening in the farm at the farm place, where industrialization was being done in the farming land, and we better call it agriculture 2.0, which is primarily is a replacement of farm machine. So beside to the farm animals, we are using the farm machinery as well, or farm machinery had been replaced the farm animal. So human labor was less, and definitely it was being encouraged by most of the farmers, and most of the countries has opted industry era, agriculture era 2.0 hand by hand. And we have the third era, which is better called as agriculture era 3.0, where we are currently into the thinking of which we are using primarily in nowadays in the developed countries, especially in India, we are using the third era, and where biotechnology has given the farmers genetically modified seeds, and that certainly help them to harness more value from the farmland. And this is something the beauty of agriculture era 3.0. And beside, we have something which is coming up like anything, agriculture era 4.0, which is more about the precision agriculture. So my colleague will discuss more about that, but yes, I wish to take you to a bit of, a bit of big on that. Uh, so interestingly, we are using much of the sensors and much of the, devices which can, sense the input variables from the farmland so that the precision, outcome can come. And interestingly, AI is being used in agriculture 4.0 era, which is the age of precision agriculture, as I've said. And as we know that the benefit is more about fight against climate change kind of situation, which is a global issue these days. And we can also do the off season cropping. Beside, a lot many of other allied technologies are being used for precision agriculture beside to artificial intelligence and IoT, which is more of 3D printing and cyber physical system. So we'll try to dig more on this. But importantly, precision agriculture talks about intervention of AI and allied digital technology in place. Beside, farmers are also being to embed IoT and sensors and more of technology which are more embedded towards usage of ICT and more of the on-ground technologies, right? And it becomes so because IoT and other allied devices and the technologies are becoming much cheaper in recent times. So the fashion and the adoption of IoT related agriculture or precision agriculture become very famous these days. पवन जी, तो रिसेंट समय में बहुत जो अभी जो वैश्विक एग्रीकल्चर की बात अगर हम करें तो अगर हम चौथी स्टेज की बात करते हैं यहाँ पर एग्रीकल्चर 4.0 बोलते हैं उसको, उसमें हम प्रिसीजन एग्रीकल्चर एक वर्ड यूज करेंगे जिसका इस्तेमाल होता है ये दर्शाने के लिए कि जो मैक्सिमम टेक्निक है इंडस्ट्री 4.0 की, जिनमें मैक्सिमम टेक्नोलॉजीज डिजिटली एनेबल्ड हैं, उनमें से एक तकनीक है आईओटी, जो हम डिफरेंट हार्डवेयर और सॉफ्टवेयर के माध्यम से करते हैं, फर्मवेयर के माध्यम से करते हैं। इनके अलावा बहुत सारी अलग टेक्निक्स का इस्तेमाल भी किया जाता है, टेक्नोलॉजीज का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, यानी वो आपस में एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करती हैं, कॉम्प्लीमेंट करती हैं, राइट? So now, interestingly, they are coming together. They are actually being, complementing each other in a very, very, lighter sense, and they are coming together. I will take some example to support that argument also. So I'm trying to be a bit of Hindi and English both, as you've said. So now, interestingly, if you see this particular image, you can see that in the sky, agricultural drones are being deployed these days, right? And drones, as you know, that they are the flying objects, and they are primarily used for mapping and surveying the cropland, particularly when it comes to agriculture. And they are being used for deploying the deployment of or precisely using the fertilizers and pesticides in a targeted manner. So these days, drones are being used. As I've said, that drone is another, set of network technology as a result of network technology, but they are going hand by hand with IoT kind of, technologies. And so drones are fit with a GPS, global positioning system, and digital cameras, which can be programmed to stay within the farm's boundary. And they have certain path to be followed, which are being programmed. Sometimes, drones are self, controlled as well, because they are being used different form of artificial intelligence algorithm. So now, interestingly, using the computer vision, these images can be analyzed to learn the conditions, where to fit the fertilizers, where to do the seeding from the sky, and it will save the labor hours also. So the best part with using drone technology, along with other allied digital technology, will help the farmland, especially the place like Uttarakhand we have, where most of the terrain is hilly, and we are struggling with natural calamities also. So in a hill location or a location where getting into the farmland during the monsoon time will be difficult, drone could be a good, substitute to the product. Now, interestingly, when it comes to farmer are using the intelligence systems in place, and they are using it for using those systems for agriculture solutions, for spreading, fertilizers and pesticides, and also the farming machinery become more intelligent. The kind of the devices which were primarily used for plugging is now sensor enabled, so that it will do irrigation, and it will sense that which part of soil is, which characteristic, and accordingly it can be treated later on. Like pH value can be, get through, or the type of soil in a place in the field can be observed, and accordingly treatment can be customized. So we have advantage, lot many of advantage of using technology in the farmland. As I've said, the trade-off is very high. And during the time, if you see this technology 10 years earlier, it was very expensive. But because the more and more hardware providers are coming up into the market, the technology is getting cheaper these days, and a lot of Indian companies are also started producing IoT-enabled devices. So it become kind of economic solution to the farmers as well. Now, importantly, when it comes to AI predictive analytics, farmers can understand what should be the farmland situation, the weather situation in months to come. So predictive analytics can go hand by hand with artificial intelligence, and it will definitely help the farmers, especially the small land farmers, to have more focused and more fruitful and cash crop or more yield-enabled cropping in place. So AI-based predictive analytics, when it comes to, can help the farmers to make better forecasting. It can help you to understand the future demand. It can help you to understand the price fluctuation. It can help you to understand the potential crop yield also. So they can take the advantage of these two, three advantages hand by hand. So now, interestingly, when it comes to IoT technology, is widely spread these days, widely used by product and services across the industries. And importantly, when it comes to agriculture, we can use a lot many of IoT technologies and a lot of form of devices. Like we can use it for radio frequency identification along with. So these are the set of technologies or biosensor network. I will discuss more about this through some research papers and through case studies also. So these are the 5 IoT technologies which are prominently become very famous these days, and the farmers and the farm retailers, the farm producers, and agriculture farm supply chain providers, they are using it in a many for warehousing purposes, for post-harvesting distribution, for pre-harvesting activities also, and during the taking care of the crop when it is in the field. So now, interestingly, we have a lot of things there. And interestingly, when it comes to, SDG goes, so we have a lot of things to do as a farm producing or agri-driven country. We have to feed the world, because as we know that 10 billion, by 2060 will be the expected, population in the world. And as you know that the food grains is lesser in production than the growing population demand. So we have to act smartly. So smart farming is the solution to that problem. We are using agriculture with IoT and other allied technologies. As we can see this, we have IoT at the center, which is helping the smart farming. Where we are using UAV farming drones. We are using monitoring farms, precision farming. We have supply chain, which is IT enabled nowadays. We are using analytics for prediction, for precision as well. And we are using aquaphonic. Vibhuti is the right person to tell more about that. Aquaphonic farms on that, monitoring the forestry so that the greenery will be there more and more, and tracking and tracing of the product which is being, distributed across the retail supply chain. So interestingly, things are getting more, technology oriented these days, and smart farming is something, coming up like anything. So this is the illustration when the IoT ecosystem for smart agriculture is in place, and a lot of things are coming up. To make it much simplified, I wish to tell you that this particular framework has 3 components. One is the IoT device, communication technology, and data processing and storage solution. Input, process, and output, as simple as. So now when it comes to input, we have IoT device which takes the input from the farmland, as in the layman language, where IoT device take care of all these features. Like you can see on the right side of the PPT, it has a lot many of characteristics, including the energy efficiency. They are taking less of the energy. They are nowadays solar driven. They are very cost efficient. They are highly mobile. You can take the IoT device from one place to another place. So this is the advantage where the IoT device is in place. And primarily the purpose of IoT device to take sense inputs value from the field or the farmland through the wired and wireless connection, and the value will goes to the communication solution, which is the second part of that, through the communication technology. So we have different communication technology in place. As you can see, the table 1, we have a lot many of technologies in place, and they are IEEE standards, and they have different way of fetching data from the field through the sensors. Once the data has been fetched, The communication solution will follow some sort of protocol, network protocol, follow some sort of speed, internet spectrum. And obviously, if you can see the topology is the arrangement, how you want your show to run, how data has been collected from the field, how the data has been processed, and how data is being, further communicated to the decision unit. So this is the illustration 2.1. You can see on that. Whether you can see that monitoring, when it comes to monitoring or typical application of smart agriculture, the key purpose is monitoring actually, so that we can understand what is the pH value of the field land, humidity, temperature, and we can make decision out of it. So the primary purpose is for IoT smart system is how to make a good decision when it comes to farm activities. So you can use it for a lot many purposes, crop decision, monitoring information, for the purpose of monitoring information related to water, feed, animal health also. Animal husbandry could be one of the area where we can use IoT, and we can tag animal as well to know the temperature of the, so that, breeding cycle can be, calculated, or maybe milk production, prediction can be done through the animal statistics. So a lot of things are there. Besides, you can see that you can run through cloud also. So IoT devices nowadays are cloud run these days, and a lot many fields can come together, and you can collect data from more than one field, put them into cloud, so that decision can be drawn. So typically the big companies like Cargill, right, and Walmart, they are using cloud-based IoT, smart farming, to collect data from their farmers, and because they have to retail the product. So accordingly, they plan for the whole year about their supply chain. So it is an integration, is a backward integration between the retail businesses and the farmland. So the other examples, like for greenhouse production, we can use IoT-enabled application for farmland. Beside, as you know that IoT monitoring can be done for smart agriculture, as you can see in this particular image as well. Various measures related to these activities can be done through, and these activities are more of irrigation related, plant growth as well, identification of a disease coming from the leaf through some weed or some sort of insects or bugs, production management of smart agriculture sectors, and a lot of information you can get through IoT-enabled devices. This is one of the paper we published around 10 years back, and it talks about, what should be the structure of the IoT devices. And interestingly, this paper was about the food retail supply chain. And these were the problems, these were the challenges that Indian farmers and the retailers of farm products are facing. And it is still, a challenge or barriers, most of them. It includes a lack of government, regulation, lack of standards. Of course, there are lack of standards. Still, they have lack of standards, although IEEE standards are coming up. But we need local standards also, because the condition in India could be different from the conditions of farming in other part of the world. Besides, we have high energy consumption when it comes to devices, although solar solutions are coming up. Security and privacy is an issue, because most of the data which is being collected from the farmland, it is digital data. So security and privacy issues are still there. High operation and adoption cost for the initial stage. There is a high investment. Definitely the long payback period when it comes to bulk of installments of the IoT devices. Most of the farmland and most of the part in India, especially the Memaru states, they have lack of internet infrastructure, and IoT device runs most of the time. If they are not satellite based, they are running from the local internet. So internet infrastructure is one of the issue. We need people from which are highly skilled. So human skill availability is an issue. Seamless integration and compatibility issues. As I've said, that we have a larger ecosystem where we get the data from the device, put it into a server, and it will be further distributed and shared with the users. So seamless integration is important. Scalability is an issue, because every farmland has different size and different form of crops are being established. So we can, generalize them. So scalability is an issue. Lack of validity and identification and agriculture practices could be one of the problem. So I'm skipping this PPT. Now, interestingly, let me take you to some sort of, use cases. I have a bit of Amul is something, is a great benchmark when it comes to IT-enabled services. So recently they use IoT for service delivery to dairy farmers. Now, interestingly, they have used for monitoring purposes and to optimize their dairy supply chain. How come? They used it for milk collection from the collection centers and to maintain the monitoring of the quality of the raw material, which is the milk. So they put the sensors on the containers. The sensors can sense the temperature, quality of milk in the real time, and take the input from collection center to the main server, so that Amul can decide upon the price to be quoted and to negotiate with the milkman, the producer. Beside animal health monitoring, as I've said, it is important parameter. It is important, one of the important aspect where IoT can be used for taking the body temperature, activity levels, feeding pattern of the animal. So you can use the animal. They are using animal health monitoring using IoT so, in livestock, and also mobile application. They are using it for ICT solution to the farmers so that they can access the real time pricing and the kind of transaction of the milk product they are shipping to the collection center to Amul collection point, and also for the irrigation and other lot many of other purposes, including the alerts, weather alerts. Besides, interestingly, they are using it for, as I've said, for climate and weather monitoring. The IoT sensors are put there in the farmland, in the places where गौशाला में place कर देते हैं, so that the humidity, temperature, and rainfall can be sensed, and accordingly पशुधन को उसी तरह से इस्तेमाल किया जा सके, so that livestock can be taken care of. Besides, interestingly, it is used for a supply chain, for QR coding, for understanding where my stock is, where the milk van is traveling, and how much time it is going to take to come to the destination. So a lot of things can be happened, and Amul is doing in very rigorous way. Besides, interestingly, vineyards is something in Californian, vineyards are being used for using smart irrigation solutions through IoT technology. They are using it for scheduling the irrigation cycles, monitoring the soil, and also I will discuss about IoT application in the question answer session, and water wastage. So they're using it for a lot many purposes. To test the moistures, cultivation or the cycle of cultivation can be decided, and that data can be useful for other farmers as well. Weather station integration. Important, and they're using IoT for purpose. Aside IoT gateway, they're using like hub and form other farmers to take good when it comes to analytics. So cloud-based platforms are being developed through in the Californian place site, and cloud analytics has been used for taking information related to irrigation needs, soil conditions, and water requirement. These are the benefits. Water conservation is one of the benefits. You're saving more water, improve crop health, of course, cost reduction. Long run cost reduction is one of the greatest advantage. Data-driven decision-making is one of the advantage, and remote monitoring, you can run the show remotely, is the biggest advantage of using IoT-enabled smart agriculture and related activities. Besides, one interesting, case study was about Australian, cattle field, where the cattle farm is using IoT-based livestock monitoring system, and they're using it for a lot many purposes with the usage of lot many of IoT, subsystems, including IoT tags. I hope that you have seen a lot of cattle with the yellow, tag on their ear, which help them to help people or Nagarpalika in generic sense to track where the animals are, moving up. so that animal trafficking can be reduced down. Similarly, in the cattle field, in this example, Australian, cattle field was using IoT tagging to know where the cattle are moving, so that they should be the part of the overall place. So whenever they're moving up and they're being lost, they can be easily tracked. Beside, data analytics platform has been used to understand the patterns of health issues, patterns of health of the cattle. Have some cattle fall ill, you can easily track and fix the problem. Beside alert system, it is being used for alert system for any kind of abnormality in the cattle. So the farm managers can use the mobile solution, and through the alert system, he can inform the the veterinary doctor to fix the problem. And the feeding optimization, so that the timeliness of the schedule of feeding can be decided. It can be used feeding consumption, and uh, so the pattern should be sustainable enough. And beside, the benefits are early disease detection of animal, so that we often call it precaution is better than cure, so the precaution can be taken care of. Enhance animal welfare, we can improve the feeding efficiently, and a lot of other advantage. Operational efficiency, of course, we can have less time to fix the problem. Immediate action can be taken care of. Besides precision crop management, one of the case study could be a United States based crop farming. They are using the precision crop management through the sensor network. Through sensor network is what basically which is devices, the digital device, which are typically the IoT devices. They are taking data and sensor through the sensors, of course, and that data can be used for controlling a particular problem. So they are using it for a lot many things. Interestingly, beside to this, one important case study that I wish to take you to is, because of limitation of time, I wish to take you to a very interesting case study about fish farming, right? So machine learning is being used, which is the allied technology as a part of artificial intelligence, of course. Mr. Bryton Shank, who's the founder of Aquabyte, a Silicon Valley company, they have used machine learning, and they have made 250 billion of aquaculture industry. So it is very interesting case. And in the case, actually, what they have done is they optimized if you can see this photograph is about, the fish land, fish farm, basically, where we have different pockets of fish farms, so that the fish can, further, they have been taken care of, stocked in, and they have been cultivated, and they have been used for the purpose. So they have used different sensors and machine learning, applications to sense the growth of the fishes in the different parks, different pockets, I must call it. And based on that, they are able to give uh, analytics to the values, and based on that, they can further sort category of A fish, category B category, and C category, ABC analysis we call it. And accordingly, they can, based on this grading, they can, plan for the pricing of the fishes they are selling to the market. Beside, very interestingly, one more example that I wish to take you to is how John Deere, which is a truck manufacturing company, how they used artificial intelligence into the farm machines. So as you know that John Deere is into the business of tractor and other farm machine manufacturing. All right. Now, interestingly, as we know that herbicides kills weeds, but they look identical as the crop. They manage the skin color, and farmers normally used to spread the you know herbicides to kill the weed, and sometimes herbicides affect the crop as well. So what John Deere has done is they did a kind of precision, through artificial intelligence, so that the machine can identify uh, the wheat, and in the targeted location only the herbicides can be put on, so that particular wheat can be killed uh, and it will not harm the crop. So now, interestingly, it became a feature of John Deere's product, and John Deere has made $1 trillion based on the precision solution to the farm machines to the farmers. So it helps the farmland also, of course, and 77% of the herbicides usage when it comes to crop affecting the crop has reduced down, and significantly increased the yield of the farmers, and of course the cost saving was there. Now, interestingly, one more thing which is somehow different from discussion today. McCormick is something, it's a company which was established in 1889. It's a very old company, which is famous for, seasoning on the dish. And they developed the seasoning based on the artificial intelligence. As you know that Tushkan chicken and vegetable dishes, they required some sort of seasoning. And this company, McCormick, is a famous world-famed company, which gives you the toppings and seasoning for such kind of dishes. Now, interestingly, they use artificial intelligence using supervised learning, so that the solution to the kitchen, I mean, the people, those are fond of making meals, and the solution was highly customized, that what sort of ingredients you would like to substitute in the whole set of toppings or the activity of fooding you're doing. And it was primarily based on the question, so that your solution is asking question from the users, right? What ingredients complement each other? You give us the solution, so the machine keep on asking, and accordingly the solution is being prepared. So it is very interesting thing. And in years to come, if you see this, such kind of similar solutions are coming from different solution providers. Those are using industry 4.0 or agriculture 4.0 driven softwares or hardwares, and they're helping us to understand that what would be the optimum solution without harming the field, with considering the constraint that we have the lesser farmland in place, and
Uh,
we can have more yield out of it. So the
Dr.
solution to
Sir, I
by and
request
large,
you.
such kind of problems are more of the IT-enabled and digital technologies. And this is the last slide, sir. So
Okay.
this particular set of technologies are highly promising, and IoT has definitely changed the landscape of every industry, as I've said. And it is coming through allied technology, which are AI driven or digital technology, I better call them. And we as a farmer or a potential, agripreneur, we need to understand that what solution is fit enough to take care of the problem, because the problem in one place in the country like India could be different from the problem of farming in another place because of different, parameters of agriculture. It could be farmland, soil, temperature, pressure, pH value, and on. So we need to see the most appropriate solution for the problem. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Anupamji. This is all
Yeah,
from my side. Thank you. Thank you. Very good.
yeah, thank you, Sudhanshu sir. I think I must say it's a very structured planned session. Mainly, you talked about how this IoT and the different technologies are evolved in agriculture sector and how we are now in the era of precision farming that we are doing. And what are the different IoT technologies are there, and mainly the case studies you were discussed. I think I remember last time few participants were asking about the IoT technology in dairy farming. So I think Amul is the best case that you discuss. Also, few participants were asking about the fish farming and the food processing as well. So I hope this session might be your session might be helpful to them. I'll request to the participants. Kindly put your questions in the chat box, or you may ask questions directly to the speakers by raising your hand. There is a option is there that you can raise the hand, so that we will take after the second speaker session. So now I'm requesting to Mr. Anupam to kindly introduce our second speaker.
Yeah. Thank you, Amit. We'll introducing our second speaker for the second half of the webinar is Mr. Ravi Bhubuti, who is the CEO and co-founder of Mount Tribe Agritech Private Limited, an initiative that redefines the process of farming, benefiting farmers, consumers, and Mother Nature, all at the same time innovating and integrating digital technologies. Prior to Mount Tribe, Ravi holds a master's in computer applications and Master in Social Anthropology from Doon University, specializing in the Internet of Things, and has been working in the field of aquaponics and smart farming techniques. Ravi noticed that many people in villages of North India were abandoning their land and agriculture interest in search of livelihood. The solution was to develop smart cold water aquaponics and efficient farming system, resulting in substantially higher yields and better nutrients, all while using a fraction of water and zero chemicals. This farming method enables farmers with even barren lands to grow crops, thus preventing out migration from the hills of Uttarakhand. Mr. Ravi has experience in recruitment and mentorship of IM Kashipur's and IIT Madras students and trained students in entrepreneurial as well as technical knowledge. He is a fellow at Joycorps Ventures for Redempting Businesses and Entrepreneurship, fellow at IIT Roorkee and Entrepreneur in Residence Program, and he is also the executive head of Monstripe. With this brief introduction, I'd like to hand over the session to Mr. Ravi Vibhuti. Over to you, sir.
Hello.
You're audible, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much and for this introduction, Anupam sir. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining this webinar on IoT-based agri startups. My name is Ravi Vibhuti, and I'm the co-founder of Mountstripe Agritech Private Limited. Today, I will be discussing the exciting intersection of Internet of Things and agriculture and how it is transforming the way we approach farming and food production. IoT and Internet of Things have been revolutionizing the various industries, and agriculture is no exception. By connecting devices, sensors, and systems, IoT enables farmers and agri entrepreneurs to collect, analyze real-time data, make informed decisions, and optimize farming practices. In this presentation, we will explore the key application of IoT agriculture, success stories of agri startups in India, the challenges and opportunity they face, and the future trends that hold immense potential for the industry. So let's dive in and discover how IoT is reshaping the agricultural landscape and empowering agri startups to achieve remarkable outcomes. In recent years, IoT has been instrumental in revolutionizing agriculture sector by enabling innovative applications that enhance productivity and sustainability and efficiency. Let's explore some of the key IoT applications in agriculture. First, we have the precision farming, where IoT sensors and data analytics are used to monitor and optimize crop growth, condition, including soil moisture, temperature, nutrient levels. This allows farmers to make data-driven decisions, optimize resource usage, and maximize crop yields. Second, we have livestock monitoring, which involves using IoT devices to track and monitor the health, behavior, and location of the livestock. This helps farmers in early disease detection, efficiency feeding, and ensuring animal welfare in different sectors. Third, we have smart irrigation system where IoT sensors and weather data are utilized to automate irrigation processes and optimize water usage. This helps in conserving water resources, reducing water wastage, and ensuring proper irrigation for our crops. And fourth, we have supply chain management, where IoT technologies enable real-time tracking monitoring of produce. And from market, this improves traceability, reduces waste, and ensures food safety and quality. There are just few examples of how IoT is transforming agriculture. The integration of IoT in these areas is enabling farmers and agri startups to achieve higher productivity, reduce cost, and promote sustainable practices. Now that we have explored the key application, let's move on to the next slide and delve into some success stories of agri startups. So in India, several agri startups have been embraced IoT and achieved remarkable outcomes. Let's take a look at inspiring success stories. First, we have Smart Agro, an agri startup that leverages IoT to produce real-time monitoring and analytics for crop management. The solution helps farmers optimize irrigation, fertilizer application, and pest control, resulting in increased crop yields and reduced environmental impact. Second, we have the Livestock Tech, a startup that specializes in IoT-based livestock monitoring. Their innovative solution enables farmers to remotely track the health, location, and behavior of their livestock, improving animal welfare and operational efficiency. Next, we have FarmSense, an agri startup that focuses on precision farming using IoT technology. By collecting data on soil moisture, temperature, and nutrient levels, they provide farmers with actionable insights to optimize crop growth and resource utilization. These success stories highlight the potential of IoT transforming the agricultural landscape. By harnessing the power of IoT, these agri startups have brought significant improvements in productivity, sustainability, and profitability for the farmers as well. So we'll just take a little look at the timeline. So in 1990s, there was the first emergence of early remote sensing. Technologies laid the foundation for the application, and those were very basic sensors for basic tasks. Then in 2000s, the wireless communication came into picture, and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled connectivity of sensors and devices in agriculture, and that what led to the adoption of agriculture significantly in 2010, because IoT devices are best when they are working wirelessly. The concept of smart farming gained prominence, combining IoT, big data analytics, automation in 2015. And in 2020s, the IoT in agriculture has become more sophisticated and integrated with AI, ML, image recognition, and whatnot. So now we'll look at some challenges and opportunities for IoT in agriculture. While IoT has opened up exciting possibilities in agriculture, IoT-based agri startups have also faced certain challenges. Let's explore these challenges and opportunities that lies ahead. So first is connectivity. Limited internet connectivity in rural areas can pose challenges for IoT implementation. Startups need to find innovative solutions to ensure seamless data transmission and communication. Cost is another problem. Cost developing and deploying an IoT infrastructure can be expensive. Startups must carefully manage cost and find ways to make their solution affordable for farmers. Now, we are still very much dependent on China for our IoT sensors and parts. Now, adoption and education. Farmers may have limited awareness and knowledge of the IoT technology. Startups should invest in farmer education and train programs to drive adoption. So now we'll talk about some opportunities that are with IoT in agriculture. Data-driven insights. IoT enable agri startups to collect vast amount of data. By analyzing this data, startups can provide actionable insights and predictive analytics, empowering powers to make informed decisions. Then we have sustainability and efficiency. It brings up the efficiency and sustainability. Then we can also tap into the market potential by growing the demand for quality food, and the need for efficiency agriculture practices create a significant market potential for IoT-based agri startups. Capturing these market can lead to substantial growth and scalability. Now we'll take some takeaways from our future trends. And the future of IoT in agriculture holds immense potential for transforming the industry. Let's delve into some key trends that are shaping the future of IoT-based agri startups. The first, we have the precision agriculture. IoT technologies such as sensors, drones enables precise monitoring of crop health, soil conditions, and weather patterns. This data drives approach allows farmers to optimize inputs, reduce waste, and maximize yields. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is also the integration of AI and ML algorithms with IoT data enables advanced analytics and predictive modeling. Agri startups can leverage these technologies to provide intelligent recommendations, automate processes, and enhance decision making for farmers. We also have blockchain for traceability. Blockchain offers transparent and immutable records, ensuring the traceability of agriculture products. IoT sensors can capture data throughout the supply chain, enabling end-to-end traceability and enhance food safety and quality assurance. We have farm automation, on which our company is based on. We are an IoT-enabled cold water aquaponics farm. And IoT-based automation solutions are revolutionizing farming operations. From automated irrigation system to smart livestock monitoring, startups can develop innovative solutions that streamline processes, reduce labor-intensive tasks, and improve overall efficiency. So these future trends have potential to revolutionize the agriculture sector, driving sustainability, productivity, and profitability. IoT-based agri startups that embrace these trends can stay ahead of the curve and create a significant impact on this industry. Thank you. This was Ravi Vibhuti for Mountstrap AgriTech.
Yeah, thank you, Ravi, for very short and very beautiful presentation, and talking about the different takeaways that are emerging in the IoT sector. So with this, we will start with our Q&A section. I have also put a few questions ready from my end, and I'll request to the participants also, if you have any questions, you can put in the chat box, or you may raise your hands to directly ask questions to the speakers, so that we will take one by one. So we'll take one first question that is asked by Dr. Neelam Nayal as well as Pradeep. I will combine this question. Already Dr. Subhanshu has explained this question in his presentation, that what are the different barriers are there while you are executing the IoT. So Mr. Pradeep has asked question that average number of use of forest for farming, especially in the tribal belt, where we cannot able to have the internet or the network connection, which is must required for these IoT devices. How it going to be helpful to if there's somebody really wants to work in tribe areas? And Neelam had the same question related to the what are the different barriers are there. You already talked about it in your presentation, but still I
Sure.
request you,
So
please
let
help
me
me.
let me take this query. Let me take this query.
Yeah.
See, I've also noted down Dr. Neelam has asked for the adoption barriers. So Dr.
Yes.
Neelam, adoption barriers are same as they were 10 years back actually. The reason being the pace of growth of manufacturing of IoT devices or any technical devices has to come across a lot of clearance from the departments. So we have listed in one of the research paper we published in 2019. It was actually which was the research was carried out from 2017 till 2019, and we notified that around 15 barriers are being coming across from different subdomains. And as I've shared in the PPT as well, most of the barriers are coming from the lack of government regulations, which is essentially important. They have now semiconductor policy, which was recently launched in 2022. It will definitely help uh, automated devices because most of the manufacturing and the standards of those manufacturing will be done in India. So lack of government regulation was the problem, which government tried to subsidize. We like to narrow it down. Lack of standardization, which is coming altogether with this problem, the first problem. When the government regulation comes, the standardization will automatically solve. The problem of standardization will automatically solve. Energy consumption is an issue because most of the old device IoT devices, they are largely depending upon the regular energy sources. Now the solar energy based IoT devices are being developed by most of the IoT manufacturers. And security and privacy, it is essentially a bigger problem because most of the data which is collected from the farmland, either in the form of images or in the form of text, will be the part of big data, and managing that data will be a problem like any other big data which is in place. So security and privacy is the biggest challenge in my opinion. Operational cost and initial installation cost is very high because you're not devising the IoT device into one place. You are doing it for multiple places across the farmland. So installation cost is very high, and therefore the backup payback period is also very long. So there are a lot of issues that the government, being the body who is regulating the whole show, can do. Semiconductor policy will definitely help because most of the manufacturing will be done in India. Now coming to second question, which was the question related to the question was, can you repeat the question? I'm just forgetting that was the second question. Sir?
That related tribes areas that if anyone wants to work in a remote areas or maybe in a
Yes,
forest
yes.
where
So
internet
actually,
connect.
IoTs are not always, they are not always local internet driven. They could be satellite based as well. See, don't forget that IoT devices are of lot many forms, and RFID is one of the form. So RFID devices are always they take they are energy driven from the local energy source, and they transmit it to the local devices, but also they take the input from satellite and they communicate through the satellite network as well. So same goes with by the virtue of the development that IoT devices come from, which is RFID technology. They have the same set of inherited feature that RFID was having. So they're also satellite driven. So the solution to a such problem where the most of the tribal remote location which are not having internet connection, the data is coming from the satellite locations and can be transmitted across the satellites as well. So the base station can get the data from the satellite in the form of image, insights data, and that can be utilized further for making decisions.
Yeah, Ravi would
And
like to add
also,
anything.
so
Yeah.
we can add some LoRaWAN. So that is low range. So you can set up your own channel. That depends on for how long and what is the distance of your site. And if it's too long, you
Yes.
can go for satellite. But if it's not that too long, then going for different kinds of communication is also very beneficial.
Yeah, yeah. And the local clouds can be made, like Vibhuti has said. We can have the local clouds also. We can, which is a bit of few kilometers in range, and that local clouds can solve the problems.
Yeah, I hope both the attendees got the answer, because the speakers are clearly mentioned that how in a way that you can work in the remote areas also. So there are ways to work on these barriers and these challenges. We'll quickly move to next question. Many participants are asking about, they don't have that much knowledge about or ABC of this IoT. So where they can learn more about the different applications of IoT, or in what way they can execute in their own sectors, that too in a poultry, that too in a goat farming, or maybe in their own farming, or maybe horticulture. So that IoT device providing companies are there, but while are approaching such a companies, they don't know about what is the use case of it. There may be the chances sometimes the small farmers are get cheated by getting more expensive cost about it. So where they should understood these basic things, and how they can compare this IoT while they're selecting any company or the solution offered by the different companies.
So,
So
yeah, Vibhuti, please. Yeah, sure.
So you can study on various open source websites. There are many open source websites where there are case studies already listed, and even with the solutions that you might get some idea from it, or you might get the actual solution from there as well. And if that is also not a case, then you can IoT as an introduction. There are many courses there which you can study, and the point of getting cheated from a company for a higher price, and that can only be that knowledge can only be gained after some experience in IoT, because there is a lot of competition which you can't tell what is inside a fabricated module until unless you really use it or you have the idea for it.
Yeah, this is true actually. We can go through the white papers by the established corporate houses. Like most of the companies, like I was talking about the tractor company Deere. So now, or Cormac, for instance, they have their own, white papers available on the website, so that you can understand basically the kind of, approximate requirement at the client end. And also add to what Vibhuti has said is, Ravi has said is, we have a lot of, research community which are having the beta version of their IoT devices, which is freely available for usage. So you can deploy your fields for testing those devices, and the research community, they will provide you sometimes free of cost for testing purposes their devices. So you need to create a junction between your need and their expertise.
Yeah, I hope everyone got this answer, because this is very a common question asked by the everyone. There is one more common question. I'm not able to put the name, but everyone is asking about, can we use it into the pest disease management? Can we use it in horticulture crops? Can we use it in goat farming or poultry farming? But I think Sudhanshu sir and Ravi also covered these things in his session. So if you have missed this part, you may check this session on the YouTube also, that we will be loaded. And also the presentations copies also we are going to circulate among the registered startups. So register participants, so that you can able to go through it. I'll take one more question, probably the last question, because we have running out of the time. Many questions are coming related to the small farmers, how it is going to be affordable, and is there is any government support for this, to maybe the subsidy is there, or any program is there, that too can help to adopt this precision farming technologies in their farm. So if you could add this to the question, sir.
So I would like to start with this question. There are many. First, I would like to encourage everyone to get registered in Startup India or this their state startups portal. From there, they always release some IoT related and Industry 4.0 related challenges, and that is in trend. That is what the government is focusing on. And there are many challenges that are always going on, and from there you can, if you don't even have a product, I would encourage you to go and fill out the form, so that from the questions only you might get your answers. So that's my suggestion.
Yeah, so I just need to add two, three more points onto that. We have Department of Science and Technology, which is primarily as a part of Government of India. They have a lot many projects which talks about devising the or doing the research and development in the domain. And recent times, most of the projects are sanctioning, grant for developing IoT devices. So interestingly, if you have, as a farmer, if you have some test beds to provide them, like I was earlier talking about, and you can join hand with them. They will experiment on your grounds, and jointly, it could be a bigger, advantage. Beside, I believe that ministries, when it comes to MSME and NABARD also, they have certain sort of support for assessment of productivity through IT-enabled solutions. So you can, also seek the grant from NABARD or support from NABARD. Beside, one question which certainly I believe that Snehal's question, Vijay Snehal Vijay Bakar, she or he asked the question about the databases. So how we can get the animal disease related databases. There are a lot of databases available because IoT moves on data, right? Any form of digital device, it talks about data, it fetch data or it works upon a data. So while I was Googling for his answer, I got to know that a lot of databases are available related to animal disease, including World Animal Health Information Database. We have Global Animal Disease Information Database. So a lot of databases which you can download through Google Database, which is a free and open, data repository. You can get the data from that. For testing purposes, if you have a IoT device which is in very initial or testing stage, you can deploy that data and you can create a demonstrative, IoT system for yourself. A small ecosystem created test basis into this domain. You can create a small ecosystem by using the databases already available and a small IoT device which is being developed by yourself or by some DST scientist. So you need to, increase the horizon as a aspirant when it comes to agripreneur. So everything is actually under the sun. You just need to increase your bandwidth and hunger to have more and more things under your, bandwidth. So this is my point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in a digital era, you will not able to find anything. There is a lot of data sources are available. Yes, you have to
Yes.
just increase your hunger and the curiosity to find it out. So I think Snehal, you got the answer, and many participants are asking about what about the past data if it is not available, what happens. I think you should have to do some own research. Of course, few secondary data is available that will might be helpful to you while you're developing such a technologies. There are few also questions are coming related to the animal husbandry sector. I think already sir has covered many things. You will also find out some examples related to that. And you can, if you want to check, you can also check our previous webinars that are available on website where we already covered these questions. And still, if you have any questions, we are circulating the details of speakers, so you can reach them. They will happy to answer your queries and questions through their email IDs. So we are putting that details also in the chat box. Also, we have put the our feedback link to the participants to kindly provide the feedback after today's session, as well as you can suggest a few more topics if you want to organize from our end that you want to hear in the future. So, and there is one more announcement before we come to the end of this webinar that Manage is calling the applications for the Agri Food Acceleration Program in association with iVenture, ISB, and Deshpande Startup Foundation, where the agri and food based startups has the opportunity to get the VCs and the investments as well as mentoring support. I hope you will be take that benefit. These applications are still open till the 30th of July, and their details you can find out on our social media pages. So that links also we are shared already in the chat box. And if you miss few webinars, you can always go in our YouTube channel. You can check it out. Kindly subscribe our channel so that you can not able to miss anything from our end. So with this, I would like to say thank you. And Sudhanshu sir, you want to add something? I think you have raised this point.
Yeah, I wish to, because a lot of enthusiastic, audience, I can see a lot of questions
Yeah,
are still like Shiv
unanswered. Yeah.
Shankara. Sir, yeah, John Deere is smart enough. They had a solution for pesticide spray. They put it into a kind of, they devise their devices nowadays, the tractors and the other, farm machinery that they have the embedded solution for reading the precision value from the field and to put the solution accordingly. So my actually invitation to all of the participant is we are running one PM Gati Shakti Center of Excellence in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. And agriculture supply chain is one of the area that we are taking as a thrust area. We are the nodal agency to NITI Mumbai, which is IIM Mumbai in days to come, and which is the national, capacity building center for Gati Shakti project, PM Gati Shakti. So for any sort of, case study development and joint case study development, I invite all the audience participants and the institutions also manage to join hand with us. We have a bit of expertise into managerial solution and case study writing, business case study writing for agripreneur solutions, agriculture issues, and agriculture supply chain issues. So this is something, I wish to use platform for that purpose also to announce a small on behalf of my PM Gati Shakti Center of Excellence.
No
And
issues.
thank you so much for inviting.
Yeah. I think a few participants are actually asking for this. I think it's gonna be make help to them. And also you're asking about some links related to the agro food farms and something acceleration program. You can check our social media handles where you'll find it all these things. And someone also asked that what are the initiatives has been taken manage. So always KVKs and the extension centers are all organizing such a webinars, even the demos to demonstrate the different technologies. You can always visit to us also to get the more information and such a KVKs in your nearby areas where you can get the more information, what kind of technologies are they are adopting in the agriculture domain. So with this note, I think we should stop because already we are 12:10. So I would like to once again thank you to the guest speakers for sparing us time and giving very valuable thoughts on the IoT technology, and not in the least the participants and my team for organizing this webinar successfully. Thank you so much.
Thank you
You.
so
Hare
much,
Krishna.
Amit
Thank
sir
you so
and
much.
Manoj, for this opportunity. Have a good day, everyone.